what Reverend Dr. Ukpai, my grandfather, what he did to me. I cried, I wailed, I wept, and I asked God, what did I do to deserve this kind of punishment?
All right, so welcome to the End Time Truth Television. God bless you. I will be calling this my first official post since last week, Wednesday. All right. In case you're wondering where I've been with my sister who went into a coma on Wednesday, and she left us yesterday. Anyways, like David said, she cannot come back to me again. And just as I believe in the Lord that she was given salvation, so I should be the one that later, much later in life, will meet again at the foot of the Master, never to pass anymore. So here we are. I saw this video of the young lady or the young woman. She's not all that young. Okay. So, everybody must not have to say good things about you, about the other person. Ukpai has had people saying good things about him. I've also heard somebody openly saying that Ukpai is not in heaven. Now, I cannot make that such an audacious statement because, one, I am not God, and secondly, I wasn't there when the man breathed his last. And thirdly, we might actually be judging some persons at times with the lenses of suspicion, whereas the person walked rightly with God. Moses was accused by his own brother and sister, but God came and vindicated Moses that what they were saying about Moses was wrong. All right, so I cannot say that. So this video, I saw it and I have not watched the video. I'm as anxious as you might be. What was this that Reverend Dr. Ukpai did to the lady she said is her grandfather? So we're going to listen to her. I'm going to listen as well with you. Let's go there together. Don't forget to like and share and put down your comments in the comments area. God bless you. Let's go.
So I got married 2nd September 2000 and we were faced with childlessness. And in 2002, we heard that Reverend Dr. Ukpai was coming to Owerri for a crusade. The excitement was something else. The joy was something else. I danced. I knew it was going to be my turn. And the day came. The crowd was overwhelming. The stadium was jam-packed. And then he made an altar call. And then he raised seed. He started calling on people to come sow. My husband rose up and he said he was going to give his salary, all of it. So we went to his hotel room that was Concord Hotel, Owerri. When he got to our turn, I was already rehearsing how I would share my testimony because I knew there was no way I could see such a man and I was still going to remain the same. When we entered and I saw him, I fell under the anointing.
It's remarkable we understand that it is not actually every time we see anointed men of God that things happen. It depends on the will of God at that moment for us, just to chip in something there.
He didn't say a word. Then we sat down in the parlor and we talked for a long time. Then he looked at me and he said, praying for you now to have a child is cutting your destiny short. Go and pass the test. It's a test. And when you pass it, children will come. And when they come, the ministry will begin. And when the ministry begins, the whole world will hear you. Please, when the children come, remember to bring them to you to come and show me. So when you drop the seed, I was telling my husband, when you drop the seed by the corner, something like there was somewhere around the room. When you drop it and you leave, please call the next person. I thought it was a joke. I thought he was going to have a rethink. I thought he was going to call me back or even said, can they come back again? By the time we entered the elevator and went downstairs, I busted into tears and I started crying. And my husband didn't say a word. And the journey of childlessness continued. But those words kept ringing in my ear. It's a test. You don't know? Go past the test. Let me tell you, there are situations. Do you know what I do when people come to me to pray for them? I take a little time for us to talk. I ask questions because that lady who has come to tell you that boss is fighting her in the office, you don't just need to lay hands. She might be fighting husband at home. And this is the only person that will fight her and it will get to her. So most of the times, these processes are not to be aborted. Oh, you can feel for her. Oh, you can pray for her. But don't abort the process. Going for alternative is aborting the process. God wants to teach somebody attitude. Don't say she's like that, he's like that. Something has to be done. When you see people going through some kind of things, just be sensitive. Don't just jump. Everything is not about laying hands. I thought she was going to lay hands, lay legs, pray, pour oil, prophesy. He did nothing. He was so deliberate and intentional. He made up his mind not to pray. What
Was it? Was he actually the one that made up his mind? I believe God led him not to. Not really that he made up his mind not to pray, but God led him not to. And that was also, I believe that would also have been very difficult for the man if God had told him, seeing how prepared and how expectant the lady and her husband were. And he said, praying for you now would be negatively consequential, So, but the thing is this, there are times we are such in a hurry to get something. Let's say, for instance, I don't have a car. I had cars. I don't have now. And somehow, something that would have required, the comfort and the ease of driving a personal car comes up. And then you relapse and you'll be like, why are things not changing? Why was it that I was here yesterday and today here I am? Now, God may have intentionally allowed those things to go because probably if they hadn't gone, if the cars didn't go, there probably would have been something else that may have happened and it could have been a terrible regret. Could have been devastating. But the cars were taken to preserve a life. So we have come to that point where actually everything according to the will of God. Now, it is also possible that you are asking for riches. And even though God may have primed you, God may have, destined that you'll be rich, but he has his own time, his appointed time. If we jump the process like the woman was saying, I thought that what he did to her was strange, was something that caused her pain, as in coming out of greed from the man of God, or, greed that inflicted pains on her. But that time she didn't understand it, but now she seems to have understood it. So I would allow her to finish her this thing, but this came to my mind and I just needed to say it. If we jump the process, it might be consequential, very, very fatal, that one may lose his life jumping the process. But if we arrive at that point with God leading the way, now it becomes very soothing and very comforting. And that is when the Bible is fulfilled, that the blessings of God makes rich, adds no sorrow with it.
What a sensitive man. Papa, na papa. What a general. You hear me say all the time, I never cried when I was childless. I didn't ask God why. So immediately I started writing a book. My first book in his time, He Makes All Things Beautiful, was written while I was still waiting. And those words kept ringing in my ear. Then I got super glued to God TV. And it was Daddy Ashimolowo and Mommy Emisi that anchored God TV. So because of that word, I started learning. Search it out from the book of the law and read. So I started learning. I started unlearning. I started studying. I started equipping myself. In the process, I had an encounter. I'll bless you after 5 years. Don't ask me why. It's for a purpose. I'll bless you after 5 years. Don't ask me why. It's for a purpose. Even when my spiritual father prayed for me, I kept hearing that word. I'll bless you after 5 years. Don't ask me why. It's for a purpose. So I aligned with it's a test. And so I started getting myself ready without knowing what I was doing. Thank God he didn't abort the process. I started writing books. And eventually, exactly 5 years after, September 2005, I became pregnant because I remember Daddy saying, but you're a very young girl. Come and pass the test. Your mates are not even married. Go and pass the test. When you pass it, everything will happen. And so I went back and got busy. I didn't waste my waiting period. I didn't cry. I didn't wail. Of course, then my husband was used to buying me books. You don't know who you are. If only you know who you are, you wouldn't even bother. I want to walk. You don't need a job. There is something you carry. Just go and get yourself ready.
All right, so I'm ending it here. The long and short of it, I believe she said she became pregnant 5 years later. So for her, God made it easier for her anyway. God made it easier for her by telling her it's a test that you must pass. It's a test that you must handle well. If you handle it well, then I will visit you. And at some point in time, gave her a specific date. And when that date came, she became pregnant. Now, everybody would not also be as fortunate as she was to know the time and to know what God was saying and what the plans of God for her was or is. Now, but it is easier if we learn to trust in the Lord. Now, trusting in the Lord is very, very advantageous, even though that sometimes we don't know how to trust in the Lord. Sometimes we are in a hurry, and because we're in a hurry, we miss out. Okay, so she was very fortunate and very lucky that the Lord opened up to her and told her, I will give you, but not yet. Just go and serve me. All right. Just like, he was even more fortunate than Abraham, because Abraham didn't have any timeline, but she had a timeline. All right, so that was what Ukpai did to her, and not the other side of it. I know there were some names mentioned in this video that some of you may not like, and there were some processes spoken of here that you may not like. We may not have to pry into everything, and we are not God. So where it is obvious that one has erred, we'll talk about it. Or where it is not obvious at all that one erred, we just leave it like that because we are not God. All right, thank you very much. If you have not learned anything, learn that in God's own time, He makes all things beautiful. In His own time, He will cause the line to fall in pleasant places for you. So your time is not God's time, and God's time may not be your time. So wait for the timing of the Lord. Childbearing, mean becoming rich, in building houses, whatever. Just make sure that you have peace with the Lord and that you're a child of Jesus Christ. That is the most important thing. Other things, according to His will and purpose for you, we follow if we do the right thing. Thank you, and God bless you. See you again in the next video. Till then, from me to you, shalom.